Hello and welcome back to Quick Tip Tuesday. Pardon me. Today's quick tip has to do with a particular word that I want to share with you, and this is more applicable to those of us who are using our voice for music. In other words, the vocalists out there, as well as other instrumentalists also. The quick tip is less for, I would say, the spoken word people, the poets and the public speakers, etc. But it's still a useful, I think, and important word to know. The word is defined by, I'll give you the definition first and then I'll follow up with the actual word. The word is defined as the general range that a particular song or piece of music falls into in terms of the highest notes and the lowest note. So as far as the melodic line or the melody line is concerned, it is not so much the one or two notes that may be a little bit higher or a little bit lower outside of the general range, but rather we're talking about the actual range of the song as far as where most of the notes fall for the melody. So the word that I'm referring to is Tessitura. If you're in the classical world in terms of singing, you're and producing music and other instruments as well, you're more familiar with the word Tessitura. It's not used quite so much in other genres of music, but it's still applicable. It doesn't matter whether it's classical or not. Tessitura is still a term that applies to really all music, whether it's vocal music or strictly instrumental. So it's an important word to know because it's good to know as many terms as possible because we want to increase our knowledge, of course, and you want to know as much about the artistry and the actual work of the music as possible. So that's one reason to know it. Another reason to know the word is because it's a very useful term to use when you are choosing songs to sing. When you are choosing songs, whether they are covers that you are looking at and considering singing and performing or recording, or whether or not a writer perhaps wants to write a song for you or has written a song for you and may bring it to you and ask, would you be willing to sing this song? We know that when that happens, it's a great compliment and it's a great honor when a writer wants you to sing the person's song. But your decision to actually do it is based on many factors, of course. But one of the factors is the tessitura of the song. In other words, is the range or is the tessitura of this song going to be comfortable in my voice? Is it going to be something that I find super challenging or very difficult or too difficult, or is it a comfortable tessitura, comfortable range, etc.? So we're used to talking about the range as far as our own voice, my vocal range, but we're not quite so used to applying the idea of a range to a piece of music outside of our own voice. So it's an important consideration to think about. And mind you, if you do find that the tessitura is more challenging and perhaps more difficult than you're used to, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't try it or work on it. We know that sometimes those are the very songs that really help us grow vocally and as musicians. So it doesn't always mean that you might not take the song, but it is an important consideration. For those of you who are writers as well as vocalists like myself, it's also something to take into account when you are writing for your own voice or you're writing songs that you will be singing. That's something to take into account. That's something that I learned as I began to write more and to sing my own songs that I wrote. I did discover that the tessitura that I wrote for, while the song itself, I love the song, the way the lyrics flowed and all that, and the musicality and the harmonies and all that was wonderful. Occasionally I did find that when I went to sing it, it was a little bit more of a difficult tessitura or range for me to sing, because when I wrote the song, I wasn't necessarily thinking in terms of my own vocal range and how it might fit with the range or tessitura of the piece. So definitely something to take into account for you writer vocalists like myself, for you who are writers only, who might be writing songs for particular artists to interpret, might keep that their vocal range in mind. And that's an important consideration. And for you vocalists, like I said, who you may not write songs, but when you're going to decide what you want to actually sing, record, perform, whatever, don't just go by a melody that you may have heard part of. Don't only go by just a first couple of measures or bars, but really look at the entire song. Really go through it as you're making your decision. Is this something that I want to sing? So, tessitura is the word for today. Take it, use it, look it up, and I hope that adds to your musical vocabulary. I hope you found this quick tip helpful. And I want to welcome my new subscribers. As always, thank you for joining me. I'll have more great material and information for you coming up in the near future. I want to remind you all again, if you're in the Detroit area on Friday, July 19th, I will be performing with my band. Look for Dr. Angela Celeste May and the No Limits Band will be performing right in the center of downtown Detroit at the famous Campus Martius Park. It's from noon till 2. So 2 hours we'll be down there during the Campus Martius Midday Music Series. So I hope you can join us. Meantime, I invite you to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and feel free to comment. God bless and take care. Bye-bye.